Alright, YouTube. In this video, I wanted to address a particular comment that I see quite often on my channel, and that is, something along the lines of, I can't vibe with veganism, there's not enough flavor, I can't eat more veggies, cooked or raw, because they're just not flavorful enough. Your taste buds have been trained to enjoy the taste of junk food, ladies and gentlemen. The over-exciting, stimulating qualities that junk food and processed food has over the years of your consumption terraformed your taste buds, and in doing so made you desire certain foods that are not optimal for your health and your spiritual growth. Again, from years of constant consumption, you have terraformed your desires for certain foods predicated upon the fact that your taste buds have pleomorphed, and now you crave things that are, again, non-beneficial to your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and your spiritual growth and health. So, vegetables and vegan foods, raw vegetables, raw fruits, these are some of the most flavorful foods that are available here in this world. They are absolutely delicious. They're full of vibrant color, they're full of vibrant flavor, great texture, you name it. These are the foods that we were designed to eat here in this massive garden that we live in. But the Matrix has come along and produced all this processed, overexciting, highly addicting, stimulating, overly flavorful foods, overly salty, overly sugary, overly sweet, And because of that, the people who have been living on this type of fuel that is not fuel, this food stuff we'll call it, have learned to love it. What you will find, however, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you start eating a particular food, even though you may not like it when you start eating it, over time you will retrain your taste buds to enjoy it. When I first started eating spirulina, a particular algae, when I started consuming Aphanosomnum flossaqua, a blue-green algae, a particular form of algae, I didn't like them. Over time, over a period of a couple months, at the end of that, I craved them every day. My taste buds now wanted this food because it was nourishing my body. You see, when you nourish your body with something for long enough, and it truly nourishes your tissues and your cells and your lymphatic system and your blood, you name it, your taste buds will begin to matriculate and crave that particular food because your body is privy to the fact that it can derive benefit from those foods. You see, you don't get any benefit from junk food, none whatsoever. The food is dead. It has no light in it. It has no color in it. It has no life force. It has no chi. It has no nutritional elements. It's just a bunch of bulk. When you eat foods like that, you derive no nutrition from it. It's amazing to me that we can sustain our health for so long as a culture on these suboptimal foods. It makes me truly wonder and philosophize over the idea of how long could we live? What could our life be like as a collective entity if we consumed all the right foods from day one? I believe that the world would look like a completely different place. This hellish realm would look like paradise if we put the right fuel in our system. You see, you wouldn't put the wrong fuel in your vehicle and expect it to run, but day in and day out, we put the wrong fuels in our bodies and expect things to run properly. You see, things aren't running properly, ladies and gentlemen. Take a good look at the world around you. Wars, famine, poverty, destruction, lying, cheating, and stealing, destruction of the atmosphere, destruction of the sacred minerals and the sacred resources here in this world. Mass genocide of animals so that people who are half conscious, practically asleep, walking around like zombies can continue to eat these dead animals, these dead carcasses, these dead souls. Something's wrong here. This world was not designed to look like it currently looks. People were not designed to behave like people are currently behaving. Something's wrong. In my opinion, it's largely due to the fuel people are putting in their systems. You see, food is energy. Real food is condensed sunlight. Real food is full of pigments and chlorophyll and valuable amino acids, minerals, constituents, vitamins, phytoconstituents, nanonutrition, minute nutrition, micronutrients. These foods, when they're full of nutrition, go into the body and not only uplift the health of the body, but they uplift the consciousness. They expand the consciousness. They help the mind work on a higher tune. This is what real food is designed to do. It's designed to nourish every part of our existence. That is food. That is real fuel. Fast food, food from gas stations, food from containers that you get out of a vending machine, food that you get when you go out to most restaurants, it's dead. It has no enzymes left anymore. It has no micronutrients, phytonutrients, life force, chi, you name it. Its molecular integrity is highly compromised. Therefore, when you eat it, you don't get anything from it other than digesting dead food. And just like Jesus will tell you in the Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 1, life begets life and death begets death. You get what you reap what you sow. Input directly affects output here in this world. We live in a cause and effect world. Therefore, what you put into something, you get out of it. Now, the food that you put into your system dictates how your entire cellular system maintains itself and communicates messages throughout all of your 100 trillion plus cells. The food that you eat affects how your bones are rebuilt, your tissues, your nervous system. It also affects how your consciousness either expands or constricts. You see, bad food causes a constriction in the body. It creates excessive amounts of mucus, inflammation. It causes a degradation of the quality of the blood. It causes a degradation of the quality of the skin. Every part of your body and mind is affected by the energy that you put into your system through the food, because food is energy. Real food is energy. Dead food is not energetic. So again, it amazes me that people have sustained their health so long on such suboptimal foods. What could this world look like if we were on the right fuel source, ladies and gentlemen? I see paradise. This world was designed to see paradise. I see fruit trees growing everywhere in massive abundance. Fruit trees growing on everyone's front lawn instead of just having a green lawn that serves no purpose. Free food for everyone. I see in this world a future of efficient use of resources. Getting away from the internal combustion motor, cleaning up the atmosphere. We have a divine opportunity at our fingertips, ladies and gentlemen, to do what we can, excuse me, I had a notification, with our time to help make not only our inner world and our health better, but to make the world a better place. Set a vision in your mind and in your heart of a perfected, ideal world, a paradise world. Let's all try to focus on this and try to create this reality. What is it going to hurt to imagine a better world? And you would create a better world by first working on your own inner template, your own personal template, and becoming the change in the world that you want to see and that you don't see in the world around you. We have an opportunity to create an amazing future. We do. And we can at least try to create that. I know there's a lot of insanity going on right now in this world. It's pretty much everywhere. For the people who have their blinders off, it's not difficult to see the insanity. Pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, larvicides in the food supply. Bastardization, of the soils, the fruits, the crops, the plants, etc. don't have their proper mineral ratios anymore. They're not getting fed properly and deriving all the sustenance from the soil because the soils are overused from agricultural overstimulation because there's such a high demand for food. The air has become heavily polluted. That's why I always recommend get yourself an air filter, get yourself a water filter. Start doing things day in and day out that can increase your health levels. The more you increase your health levels, the more you put the proper fuels in your system, the more your blinders are going to open and you're going to be able to see the sickness around you. You can either stay numb to it and not be privy to it and not acknowledge it like most people do, or you can become conscious of it. Being conscious equates to being awake. Being awake, excuse me. When you are awake, when you're fully awake, you can see the things around you that are both good and bad. People shouldn't choose to stay asleep just because they're afraid of the bad. We need to learn to acknowledge these things and be okay with them. Because if you don't acknowledge the fact that the sickness is everywhere, there's a good chance you're swimming in it. So to wrap this one up, you guys, I went off on a couple of different subjects. You can change your taste buds is the bulk of this message. It was before I went off on a little tirade there. Start eating more vegetables. Start eating more fruit. Start eating more herbs. Start eating more nuts and seeds and grains. Start eating more beans. These foods are much different than the standard American foods that most people are used to consuming. Become a vegan. That's the key. You have nothing to lose by becoming a vegan. You stay on a vegan diet for a month. By the end of that month, you're going to start loving it. I can almost guarantee it. Because you're going to feel better. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to start deriving more nutrition from your foods as opposed to what you were consuming prior on a standard American diet or even a vegetarian diet. A vegetarian diet can be worse than a standard American diet, ladies and gentlemen. Even though you exclude the animal meat, you're still eating, most vegetarians eat a lot of pasta and a lot of cheese. I remember when I first became a vegetarian, I was like, this is the easiest thing in the world. I can eat as much cheese as I want, and I thought I was being healthy. I was also being highly hypocritical because when I was a vegetarian, I was actually speaking out against eating animals. I was speaking out against, people who are eating meat, even though I was consuming cheese, and the way that cheese is cultivated here in this world is absolutely horrific. Talk about a contradiction. A vegetarian who speaks out against animal abuse. If you eat cheese, ladies and gentlemen, you are supporting the same institutions, the same corporations that are slaughtering that meat. And if you haven't seen how cheese is cultivated and the grim reality of the process, it's horrible. That's all I'm going to get at. Become a vegan. You eat these correct foods, even though you may not like them at first. Get yourself some spices. Get yourself some curry. Get yourself some pink Himalayan salt. Get yourself some hickory smoked salt. Get yourself some different spices, maybe some garam masala, maybe some smoked paprika. Spice your beans, spice your vegetables. Start eating more of them and you'll start craving them because your body will thank you for the consumption of these nutritious foods, ladies and gentlemen. I never used to like tomatoes. I started eating tomatoes and I started to love them. Tomatoes are great for the heart. They're full of lycopene. They're full of valuable constituents for the lymphatic system. Raw tomatoes. I never used to like eating beans as meals. I started doing it. Before I knew it, I loved them. I never really used to like salads. I started eating more salads once I became a vegan. Now I love them. I can derive benefit and nutrition from foods that are simple and nourishing and designed by nature the way they were designed for human consumption. You see, on a day-to-day basis, we are violating the immutable laws of nature by supporting these factory farming industries, these industries that produce foods through processing techniques and measures that take so many resources from the earth and don't give anything back. You see, processed food is so evil because 9 times out of 10, it takes, but it never gives back. And people spend their hard-earned money that they spend a lot of time working for on processed foods that aren't going to uplift your spirit, aren't going to uplift your soul, aren't going to uplift your consciousness, your mind, your body. Again, you would not put the wrong fuel in your vehicle, so why would you put the wrong fuel in your body and expect it to run properly? I've said this many times before, and I'll repeat myself. Real foods, real nourishment, not only nourishes and uplifts the health of the body, it uplifts and nourishes the mind. Many people are in a toxic cycle where their mind is constricting. Their mind is not expanding. It's not growing. The only way for the mind to expand is to absorb new data, to strive for new things. Most people have become comfortable in a toxic algorithm of repetition every day where they repeat similar cycles with very subtle nuances, very subtle differences. It's a pattern. These patterns are non-beneficial because they don't challenge your mind. They don't put your mind into new conceptual realms of evolution. You stay in a repetition. Now, I'm not speaking out against people who work every day or people who are stuck in these cycles, but what I am going to tell you is that 9 times out of 10, these cycles are highly toxic and non-beneficial to the expansion of your health, both of the mind, the body, you name it, the spiritual life. I hate to break it to people, but we were put here, we are designed to experience something known as Christ consciousness, the expansion of the consciousness through the arousal, stimulation, and rising of Kundalini. We were designed, our blueprint is designed for evolution and enlightenment. Reality was supposed to be a much more complex, much more extra and intra-dimensional experience. Very complex, very stimulating reality where we can see our auras, see the auras around plants, interact with nature, eat from the trees, eat from the bushes, absorb all that energy. We are energy beings, ladies and gentlemen. We are solar entities. In foods, raw foods, you name it, vegan foods, natural foods that are grown from the earth are condensed forms of sunlight and color. And our chakras and our entire energy field can actually derive sustenance and energy from these forms of condensed sunlight, because the real foods that nature has designed for us are, again, forms of energy. They are condensed forms of energy, and we consume when we consume them, those forms of energy, they not only affect the body, but again, they affect the mind, and they begin to energize and stimulate something known as the subtle organizing energy fields, also known as SOEFs, S-O-E-Fs, subtle organizing energy fields of the human biology. The subtle organizing energy fields are the energy fields that hold your protoplasmic body together. They are the various condensed forms of energy that lead to and bind and hold your physical body together in this matrix. Most people can, one of the aspects of the subtle organizing energy fields is something known as the Merkaba, a 3-dimensional star tetrahedron that spins in counter rotations that we were supposed to be in divine connection with. You see, we've lost connection to the Merkaba. We've lost connection to our aura, our meridians. The meridians are the main channels that chi moves throughout your protoplasm. It's directly connected to the astral plane as well. It keeps your body healthy, keeps your body alive. There are multiple unseen aspects of our biology that I've termed the arcane physiology that we no longer are even aware exists because we have dimmed our light to such an extent. Our DNA, our genome has been matriculated and changed and terraformed into something that it wasn't designed to be. That's how we've become enslaved. We've enslaved ourselves through our own lack of awareness of the truth, ladies and gentlemen. We are violating the laws of nature. We are violating the immutable laws of nature. So on behalf of this message, I ask you to envision a better world, a paradise realm, and then take steps on a day-to-day basis to create that world by changing your inner world. What do you have to lose by gaining health, other than achieving greater health and expanding your mind, your consciousness? Your ability to process spiritual information, your ability to absorb sunlight, your ability to stimulate your subtle organizing energy fields, to stimulate your Kundalini. What do you have to lose other than evolution? Many people will go their whole life not even aware of this information, and many people will go their whole lives never trying to evolve to the next level of their evolution. Every day here in this world is a platform of evolution predicated upon the fact that we've devolved so much. We've devolved so much that we have everything to gain and nothing to lose through taking care of our health, taking care of and making sure that you're putting proper fuels in your system. Again, food is energy, ladies and gentlemen. Real food is energy. Real food is condensed sunlight, it's condensed energy. When you consume that energy that's filled with the chlorophyll and whatnot, it goes into the system, cleans the blood. You now begin circulating light throughout your system, and there's a cumulative effect. After you eat these foods for a long time, you start to get more light inside your system and more inside your system, especially if you're consuming more raw foods. And that's why I recommend people grow their own foods and juice their own vegetables that they've grown, that they've taken care of with their own hands, their own love. Unfortunately, most of the foods on the market, ladies and gentlemen, the fruits and vegetables, again, are nutritionally compromised. The amount of mineral content and whatnot in them is diminished because of overstimulation and agricultural malpractice here in the Matrix. There's a right and a wrong way to grow things. First of all, things in nature don't grow in rows. We've actually grown things in a way that nature doesn't grow things in rows like we do on farms. Wild food grows scattered amongst itself. We could get back into that state, but it's going to take some time to get back into the paradise realm that this world is. You see, the real paradise realm is a pristine earth. The air is so clean that the nourishment that you get from breathing in the air supercharges all of your cells and gives you direct sustenance and connection to source. It's called prana. That's not really in abundance anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that's why I recommend you get yourself an air filter. You spend a lot of time inside your home every day. Predicated upon that fact, you want to filter your air. You filter your air, you make the air thinner, you can now breathe deeper, you can do more diaphragmatic breathing naturally without even having to try because the air is thinner. Out here in the Matrix, there's chemtrail, geoengineering aerosols in the air, barium, strontium, aluminum, different brake dust, particles, smog, exhaust, you name it. But one of the greatest ways to begin getting healthy, in my opinion, because health is much more than food and fluid, it's also air and how you breathe. Clean the air in your home, ladies and gentlemen. Also, get an air filter for your bedside because we spend 1/3 of our lives, can you believe that? In bed, 1/3. So if you spend 1/3 of your life in bed and you get yourself an air filter for your bedroom, you're going to breathe cleaner air all night. It's something that you can do without even having to try. All you have to do is invest in an air filter and now you just get to sleep and supercharge your breathing experience. You see, you have to learn to kill multiple birds with one stone, or like someone said on my channel recently, feed 2 birds with 1 seed or something like that. The whole killing 2 birds with 1 stone thing is kind of a silly statement, but I like the whole feeding multiple birds with 1 seed, or I can't remember exactly. It was a comment someone left. It was genius. You can get so many different things done all at once if you maximize your awareness of the fact that you can do that. Like, again, you can sleep with herbs under your pillow that promote helpful sleep, promote deeper breathing, and then you can put a filter in your on your bedside, on your desk, or on your nightstand, filtering the air that you breathe. So now you're getting the herb interaction, you're getting the clean air. You can get yourself a bed that isn't filled with fire retardants and multiple different chemicals that all affect our REM cycles and how we sleep. There's 3 things you can do all at once. You can get crystals. I don't know why my camera is so bright right now. You can get crystals. This is a piece of clear quartz. You can put those underneath your bed. Clear quartz is actually an energizer though, so I would recommend going with something like lepidolite. Lepidolite, putting a piece of lepidolite next to your, on your bedstand, or your nightstand, excuse me, next to your air filter, promotes restful sleep. So many different things that you can do every day for your health. I stress this and I talk about it often because repetition of a message constitutes mental programming. And in a world where you're being bombarded with information to try to program you in a negative fashion, I get on here and try to program people through repetition to take care of their health because there's nothing more important. I'm going to wrap this one up. If you're interested in multiple hours of bonus content that you will never find here on the public YouTube channel, please consider going to www.patreon.com/sacredserpent and consider becoming a member of my paid subscription. There's 5 different reward tiers, also known as subscription options. There's a $5 one, $15 one, and a $25 one. Each one has different benefits, but they all, ladies and gentlemen, have the same amount of video content. You know, the $5 bracket is going to give you the same amount of video content as the $25 subscription. However, there are different things. For instance, the $15 subscription gets you all the benefits of all the video content and all that, but you also get, because you're a $15 a month subscriber, a private video about whatever subject you wish to hear me speak about. And that's a private video for your eyes only. I send you 1 video like that a month. You tell me what you want to hear me speak about, I send it into your inbox, your email, or directly through the Patreon message interface. It's for your eyes only, it's private. Once you get the video, I leave it published for about 6 days so that you have time to download it. You can watch it and then download it to a hard drive or a disk, and then I delete it to get it off the, because it's private content. But you can download it, keep it. It's a great way if you have certain subjects that you want to hear me talk about, to hear from me and hear me rant about those subjects. So go over to www.patreon.com/sacredserpent if you're interested in hours and hours and hours of video content, audio uploads, text posts, and direct access to me via private messenger. I posted over 8 hours, of video content and audio uploads during the month of June. And I just this morning published a 2-hour and 21-minute course for this month. And I'm aiming for about 6 hours of content for the month of July. So I stay active on there. I post a lot on there. I do a ton of long-winded rants on there, and lectures and video courses and introductory courses, herbalism courses, you name it. It is an investment for your health. I plug it because I believe in the power of my message. Why do I charge for it? Because it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to put this much time into a project like this. It's like a job. It's like a job on the side. I love it. I absolutely love it. But because I'm putting so much time into it, I charge monthly for the subscription. And it's a small fee, $5 as a minimum. That's a small fee for how much you get in return. I also spend my money. People ask me all the time, what do you use your money for? Well, that you get from Patreon. Why do you do that? Well, blah, blah, blah. Why do you put ads on your videos? Well, because I, like you, need to eat. I, like you, have bills, and I put a lot of time and effort into my content. So I buy things, again, to answer that question, I buy things like lights. This is an LED ring light that I use, and I mount it to the table. Awesome light. I buy things like trays for my laptops to cool my computer down, so my CPU doesn't go, my processor, doesn't go haywire as I upload videos, which I'm constantly doing. Puts a lot of strain on that older computer to constantly edit videos and whatnot. I put that computer to the limits. I buy stuff like this. I buy electronics and things to make my channel more efficient. I love doing this. I love upgrading. I love having a platform where I can have all these gadgets and I can work to my best ability to try to help people. I like and love and enjoy, it's my life's passion to help people. I work directly with the elemental forces of nature to try to augment people's lifestyles, to try to augment the frequency and the tune here in this world. I am doing my best to make a career out of making Kundalini the norm again. It was what we were designed to be, ladies and gentlemen, and it is the minority here in this world. I use my money to buy things like crystals. My wife bought me this one, but I do buy crystals, and I buy food, vegetables, fruits, beans. The money I get from people feeds me. It helps my channel expand. So I just wanted to touch up on that, because I get asked that all the time. For some reason, if you have a money-making outlet on YouTube, you're like the devil, and how dare you? How dare you spend all this time and in charge for it? Meanwhile, people will spend $160 on a pair of basketball shoes or some, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm going to keep this one under 30 minutes. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please share my videos around. Please leave comments, questions, suggestions. I'd love to hear from you guys. And again, please consider going over to my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/sacredserpent. Also, if you're interested and you don't want to become a member and you want to donate, you can go to my GoFundMe website at www.gofundme.com/sacredserpent. And you can also head over to my PayPal to directly donate to my my channel and my cause, and I'll put the link in the description box below to all of these. Peace be with you all. Take care of your health. Stimulate your health on a day-to-day basis. Remember that input equals output in this world with everything. The more you do things for your health every day, the more you'll see results. The more you see results, the more you'll feel better. The more you feel better, the more you'll feel motivated to keep going forward. Then you'll have a ton of momentum. And that momentum is really what gets you embedded in this lifestyle and gives you success. Peace be with you all. Thank you for watching. I hope that my channel and my messages, my passion, you name it, can inspire you today to take better care of your health. There's nothing more important than taking daily steps towards greater health. Health impacts every part of your life, ladies and gentlemen. Physical, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, you name it. It addresses every part of our lives. Health is indeed the divine foundation that we need to have so that we can achieve the life that we want. This is Lord Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, and I hope that the obstacles in your life, if you have them, can clear, and that you can attain your heart's desire. I do indeed hope that we can achieve a greater state of being here in this world. We weren't designed to have to deal with all this insanity here in this world, and I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, that if we take greater steps towards our health and we envision a greater world, we can get closer to achieving that. So I just wanted to wrap this one up with a thank you, and until next time, peace be with you all.